Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 1, Southampton 1. Really unlucky result for Southampton. They should have won that game. They were the better team for 2/3 of the game. They played like they were the home team. They were confident on the ball, triangles, heavy press against the team that was the home team who decided to play like they were the away team. All we did in that game is try and hit long balls to our forwards who spent a lot of the time offside. And I think, look, you can start... Look, I'm past all this. I'm past all this heavy rant, pick it on individual players bullshit. The reality is, if you want to pick on any individual players, it's the same old players that were constantly picked under the previous regime. We are social media FC. United have been so excited for the last 24 hours because Ronaldo with his millions of Instagram followers and Rashford with his 5 million Twitter followers have put pictures of themselves out in the new kit sponsor that's going to make them £25 million a year. That's the 3 points that the Glazers are interested in, because on the pitch today, those social media influencers, they're just not good enough. Our starting 11 is influenced by who's popular within the club. How is Harry Maguire starting games? How is Marcus Rashford starting games? Well done to Donny van der Beek and Anthony Martial, who want to play football, for getting out of the club. Donny van der Beek's playing in a midfield too for Everton today in the Premier League. I'm going to watch it, and if he has a good game, it's just another indication of the incompetence of Manchester United. How is a supposedly clever guru manager like Ralph Rangnick selecting a centre-back who is a donkey? I thought someone was going to come on with some hey. He's so bloody slow. He nearly gave a penalty away at the end. If Southampton could have finished, he would have been at fault for 2 other goals. He's absolutely crap. And Lindelof sat there getting wet in a tracksuit like a glorified season ticket holder. It's a joke. Even, I'm a big fan of Luke Shaw, but even today I was looking at it going, if you're Alex Telles, you're thinking, how am I not starting games? Rashford, he got an assist, but come on. I applaud it because he didn't shoot, but it was a very easy assist. Again, another crap performance where he can't be asked to defend. He doesn't track back. So many times Southampton got in on the left and the right, and you're like, who was marking him? And there's Rashford, sort of almost should be stood with his hands on his hips, nowhere near it. There are people wearing this beautiful shirt. Sir Bobby Charlton, George Best, the Busby Babes, Ronaldo of, Rooney's, Beckham's, Keane's. This shirt means something, and these pretenders are wearing it because they've got big social media influencers. The club is a joke from top to bottom. It's an absolute franchise, and they won't give a toss because they've made a load of money off a training top. They're bloody jokers in that team. 3rd game in a row. I mean, look, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. We're 1-0 up at half time. For the 3rd game in a row, we don't come out in the second half. I don't care whether you want to blame Rangnick or not. The reality is there is no manager in the world that is not saying to those players at half-time, remember the last 2 games where you've bottled it at half-time. Make sure you don't bottle it again. And what do? There is a big, massive sign that says United aren't good enough. There isn't, but there should be. Those players are crap. Harry Maguire is abysmal. He's absolutely abysmal. Even if you don't want me to talk about how bad he is as a player, if you're the captain and your team keeps bottling second halves, that's your job, mate. Your job is to get that team going. He's terrified. He's useless. And why is he being picked for United? We're so lucky we didn't lose that game today, because the only reason he didn't give a penalty away is because, to be honest, it was a foul outside the box, but it's a bit too soft to give it in the box. He doesn't touch the ball. He does touch the player. He's been spun again. He's useless. Absolutely useless. Shaw was crap in the second half. Crap. Bruno drifted in the second half and ends up at the end of the game shouting at the referee again like a petulant child. Pogba dropped off in the second half. Sancho didn't get the ball in the second half. Ronaldo was in the graveyard shift. He was poor in the second half, probably for most of the game. There's no personality, there is no desire, there is no chemistry, and basically we played that game like we were playing away from home. The only way we were going to score was by hitting long balls to quick players. Like, we had no idea to move up the pitch. I watched Southampton against Spurs on Wednesday. I don't think they were half as good. I don't know why, I don't think they were half as good, but they were still good enough to dictate that ball, passing it in triangles confidently. If they were way better than us, way better coached, way better mentality, way better confidence, way better chemistry. We played at Old Trafford like we're away. And I tell you what, when it comes to top 4, 2 points from 6 against Burnley and Southampton. We are going through a run of fixtures against teams in the bottom half, and we've not won in our last 2 Premier League games. I personally don't think Arsenal are that good. I don't think Spurs are that good, and I don't think West Ham are that good. But we are abysmal, and we've got a much better squad than them, and we are abysmal. I don't want to hear anything about Bruno should be captain. The man cries all the time at players. Well, the only leader on that pitch is David De Gea, isn't it? Ronaldo was poor. He had enough chances to close the game. Maguire is extremely poor. Rashford absent the whole game. We're not getting top 4, says Akshay. Prague says they're just running through the motions. Shame the players who actually care for the club take the backlash. Ronaldo, Pogba, Bruno, De Gea. Even Wan-Bissaka. I feel like Rangnick is trying to implement a system, but the players are doing their own thing. Rangnick is a sporting director rather than a manager. And another missed chance for top 4. Clearly United need a midfielder. We can't dominate against lesser teams. Look, Taffa, the reality is, he's took off the only recognised holding midfielder in his last 2 games to try and win the game, and it's done nothing. We've gone gung-ho against Burnley, and we've gone gung-ho against Southampton today for 15 minutes, where we took off McTominay, brought an attacker on. We did it against Burnley as well. We did it against West Ham, and everyone was running around, and you got your social media, head of social media. Look, I'm right here. Look at this, Ronaldo. Yeah, look at Cavani. Yeah, millions of retweets, millions, right? He was there today. He's jobless. He's stood there with his phone going, I ain't got nothing to do, because that was good against West Ham. It felt like it could be the start of something. But I mentioned this in the game. If anyone can remember what it was like under Sir Alex Ferguson, player ratings, by the way, link in the video description, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. If anyone remembers under Sir Alex, we had a clear identity of how we wanted to play football. Our fullbacks bombed on, we got people in the box, crosses in the box, it was high line, chance after chance after chance. And sometimes, with 10 minutes to go, for some reason, we hadn't been able to win the game. So he'd then go and chuck Solskjaer on and take a defender off, and he'd go for it. There's nothing wrong with going gung-ho when you need the result. The problem is Rangnick's going gung-ho in the last 10 minutes. And what I mean by gung-ho is he's taken off a midfielder to bring an attacker on. He did it against Burnley. He did it against West Ham. He's done it again today. You know, if you win the game, you go, yes, 3 points, we've won the game. But if we'd won that game at the end, I would have said, unlucky Southampton. I would have been over the moon with the 3 points, because at the end of the day, the 3 points matter. But you know, that's not Rangnick's system. That's not his system to take a midfielder off and bring an attacker on. That's desperation. It's an embarrassment that we're having to do that at the end of games against Southampton at home and Burnley away, that we're having to just try and throw attackers on to win a game because the system doesn't work. I'm appalled. You can only blame the players. The first half wasn't as good as Burnley, by the way. Southampton were very good in the last 15 minutes of the half, but we were 1-0 up. The second half was the same old United. These are weak mentality players. These are overpaid, not good enough to wear the shirt players that we are going to be stuck with for a very long time. I don't need to individualise it, but on that pitch, there's 2 in defence, there's 1 in midfield, and there's 1 in the attack, who are just social media players. They're passion merchants. They are not United players. But those 4 will be at this club longer than the rest. They ain't going anywhere. They've got the DNA apparently. They haven't. They're bloody theme park rides. They're not good enough. They're pretenders. They've got the social media following, and people go, oh yeah, they're full of passion. And when they score 1 goal in 10, or they have 1 good performance in 10, they're world class. They ain't good enough. I'd kick them out in the summer. If I was in charge, they'd be gone. All 4 of them, gone. I'm not naming them because what's the point? We all know who these players are. The club value them. They're almost being shoehorned into the team. I would question Rangnick. I really would. I'd be like, you know, let's use Harry Maguire because he's the captain of the team. My first question would be, he's cost you the game on Tuesday. He's not played particularly well today. Why do you pick Harry Maguire? Can you explain to us why you pick him? Because the fan base is absolutely confused. Now, fortunately, he didn't cost us a point today, but he very nearly did. If you watch that game twice, Maguire nearly cost us the game. He's crap. Why is this guy being picked? Like, you know, forget the captaincy, forget his value, forget his wages. He's crap. He's crap. Like, I saw it 3 times today. Out of position, no pace, can't turn. Why is he being picked? You've got Victor Lindelof on the bench. Why are you not doing that? You know, Alanga started 2 away games in a row and you bench Rashford. Why is Alanga not starting now and Rashford starting? Why? What is it that you... Are you taking responsibility as a manager, or are you being told to do things? Because, mate, you're not getting the job in the summer. It's gone. I like Ranić. I think he talks a lot of sense. I was very excited about him, but he ain't getting the job. You can't take 2 points from Burnley and Southampton and expect to get 4th place. We don't deserve it. We just do not deserve it. And where are his subs? Where are his subs in that game? Like, I don't understand that as well. I don't understand how I'm looking at the bench today going, what's the team going to be against Brighton then? Because it's clearly going to be the same 11 again, isn't it? But it's a crap 11. It's not performing. Like, you've got to make changes for Brighton. That was a crap performance. Southampton were better than us for 2/3 of that game. They played better. Their players were better. The performance was better. You've got to make changes for Brighton. And I'm looking at the bench and I'm going, I remember when I used to look at the bench and go, that bench is better than the first team. Where's it all gone? They've all pissed off, haven't they? They're all like, Donny and Martial have gone. Obviously, the Greenwood thing, you can't do anything about that. But we're going to end up with all the crap. The players who go will be the decent ones. Pogba will go. Bruno will probably go in the next couple of years. Varane will probably go in the next couple of years. Ronaldo might go in the summer. Some people might be happy about that. But we're going to end up with the crap that shouldn't be wearing the shirt now. We're going to be building a team with the crap that shouldn't be here. I'm telling you now, I'm absolutely convinced the next 18 months is going to be horrible. Teams like Villa will come past us. Newcastle will come past us. We are a bloody theme park. We're a franchise. That training kit deal, I wish these sponsors wouldn't sponsor us, but they do it because they know. Basically, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we don't beat Southampton and we don't get top 4, because we can create our own game. Instead of Ronaldo scoring a winner against Southampton that gets millions of retweets, let's do it. Let's do Ronaldo winning a game in training, and we'll put the clip of that out, and that'll get a load of retweets. We've just become this fake football club where they can make their money from interaction, but they can do it by not actually winning real games. Training Ground FC. You know, it's so sad what we are, because we're crap. How about Ralph H for United manager instead of Poch? I think he's a good coach, Quinton. I do think he's a good coach. Somebody might take a chance on him at some point, but he's a good coach. Sancho, Pogba and Varane, the only good performances in that game, and for a few games now, Ronaldo looks disinterested, says Riker. Not the kind of result we need, but Mark, we can all see a style of play slowly developing, fast passing and good interchange of play and pressing. I don't know what game you're watching, Neil. I really don't know. Maybe against Burnley, yeah, but they're bottom of the league. Maybe against Borough, yeah, but they're 6th in the bloody championship. I really didn't see United play well today for most of the game. This, quick passing, pressing bullshit. Second half was awful, mate. It was dreadful. That was a crap second half. If that's progress, I tell you what, just calm your nerves for Liverpool and City next month. If we play like that against a decent team, they will batter us. Southampton were comfortable for at least an hour in that game. I think the last 10 minutes they probably fancied a draw. The first 20 minutes it was quite equal. But the last 20 minutes of the first half and the first half an hour of the second half, they were taking the piss. Possession-wise. They were running through our midfield time and time again. And you want to tell me that that's a progressive performance? No. We are the Picasso of football. We love to draw, says Dino. It's games like this where you really miss and appreciate the importance of Rooney and Scholes, tenacity and footballing, awareness to get a draw over the line for a win. Also, Maguire is a prat, says Wim. Not even confident in our next games against Brighton or Watford. If we keep this up, Atleti will smash us, says Azania. Mate, to be honest, we're going to do the player ratings now, but if you are thinking about Brighton or Watford or Leeds, to me, it's already over. Even if we win those 3 games, I think we've given up the power in this top 4 race. Because if I look at the Premier League table now, what are we looking at? So Premier League table right now, we've played 24 games and we've got 40 points. Arsenal have played 22 and they've got 39. Arsenal are 1 point behind us and they've got 2 games in hand. That's crap. We've played the same amount of games as West Ham, and we've got the same amount of points. We haven't got a game in hand on West Ham now. We've got the same points as West Ham. Spurs have got 3 games in hand on us, and they're only 4 points behind. We've screwed this up. We should have 4 more points. We should have beat Burnley, and we should be winning today. We didn't deserve to win today, by the way. What I'm saying is, Man United should be beating Southampton at home. But it's not over yet. But we've absolutely made it really difficult because we know in March we're not going to win any games. We're not going to beat Liverpool or Man City. We might beat Spurs at Old Trafford, to be fair, but we're not going to beat Liverpool and Man City at the Etihad and Anfield. So we're going to lose more ground. You can't lose this sort of ground. We've played 24 games, got 14 games to go. 14 games to go is 32 points, isn't it? No, I've done that wrong. 42 points. 42 points left to play for. Yeah? So we've got 42 points. The maximum points we can get is 82. But we already know we're going to drop at least another 12. And that's even if we finish well. I think we're in big, big trouble. Massive trouble. And we don't deserve it. You know, the thing is we don't deserve it. Like, we just don't. We don't deserve it. United play like a mid-table team with global fan base. We play some of the worst football in the league, mate. You're right, Scott. United got outworked by a lesser club once again, says give it to Mikey. Seeing what we've seen so far, do you think Ollie was the problem? Just can't figure it out, even with him gone, says Love from Plea. Look, Ollie was a shit manager. He was. In my opinion, he was crap. The coaching was crap. Fair play to McKenna, he's doing well at Ipswich, but Ipswich aren't even a championship side, so I'd expect him to do well there. Though they weren't good enough. The board is useless. The board is crap. The owners are rubbish. I don't rate the director of football either. I don't think Fletcher's very good at the job either. I think he's a passion merchant. But the players are terrible. But the club from top to bottom is a disgrace. In a footballing sense, it's a disgrace. As a business model, it's top of the league. As a football club, it's a joke. And we're in big trouble. I can't see a way out. I think we'll be building a team next season around Maguire, McTominay, Rashford, Shaw, Fred, Matic will probably still be here. I'm sure Bruno will be here next year. Sancho will be here next year. But Pogba won't be here. Ronaldo probably won't be here. Whether you want him to be or not, you know, we're going backwards. We are going backwards as a football club, fast. If Modric and Kroos were in the team, Ronaldo would be the top scorer as of now. No one bloody passes the ball towards him, says Gurav. Seeing what we've seen so far, do you think Ollie was the problem? I've done that one. United got outworked, I've done that one. Shaw marks the runner and plays them onside. Why push up? Madness, twice it's happened now. Maguire says MVP. Thursday night football for us next season's. Glazers destroyed our club. McTominay and Maguire need to go. They are crap. Well, we need to do the player ratings, don't we? That is something that we do need to do. I did just want to see if we've had any quotes coming in from Ranić just while we're live. Scholes has said that one team has a coach and the other has a sporting director. I don't think I disagree with Scholes because, and to be honest with you, I don't mind Paul Scholes, but he is he's pro the British players, isn't he? Just like all our ex-players seem to be. I don't really get it, but the reality is the players are shit, Scholesy. You know, they're not fit to lace your boots. You can talk about coaching, but I disagree with that. I'll have a go with Ranić about picking Maguire because he picks the team apparently. But on the coaching side, those players can't play for 90 minutes, Paul. They can't play for 90 minutes. It's been proven. They down tools. Their heads drop. They're lazy, not fit to wear the shirt players. That's not coaching. You can't coach a turd. You can't polish a turd. They don't deserve to wear the shirt. They are not good enough. That's not coaching. They're not good enough. It's as simple as that. They are just simply not good enough to wear the shirt for Manchester United for 90 minutes week in, week out. I mean, we've got a quick turnaround as well, haven't we? So Rangnick's talking about Sancho. This is the Jadon Sancho I know from the Bundesliga, and the way he's playing at the moment is the best Jadon Sancho we've seen for ages. You know. Che Adams has come out and said we knew United are at their most vulnerable straight after half time. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, let's do the player ratings. Link in the video description for this. Let me just refresh. I mean, you know what? I couldn't give a shit about Jadon Sancho. I'm not bothered about Jadon Sancho. I mean, is this not what United's all about? Is this not what we moan about all the time? You know, Rangnick's talking about Jadon Sancho. That's the Jadon Sancho from the Bundesliga. I don't care. I'm not bothered. Because we've just drawn the game. I support Manchester United. This is the problem. Don't care about the club. Think about individuals that you can monetize. I'm not bothered about Jadon Sancho's performance. We didn't win. We've got to win. He wasn't the reason we didn't win, but we didn't get him on the ball anyway. You've got to win these games. Is top 4 gone now? It's not gone, Phil, but I'll repeat what I said after the Spurs game. If we get top 4, it'll be because other teams are worse than us. If anybody finds any level of confidence, we won't get consistency. We won't get top 4. And if I was Arsenal, I'd be so focused. I was scared that they were only up at 1 at half time. Says it all, says Graham. Brad, thank you very much for the super chat. Please smash a like on the video, by the way, and make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Let's do the player ratings. So for me, David De Gea gets a 7. Made good saves. The finish was very good from Adams. I mean, I think De Gea would have saved that if he hadn't put it in off the post. You can't cover... As a goalkeeper, you can't save that. He's curled it into the bottom corner off the post. It's a very good finish. And De Gea made a good couple of saves. And again, he's conceded a goal that he can't do anything about. So I thought David De Gea was a 7 for me. Certainly not a problem. I'd probably give Delo a 6. You know, the goal sort of comes down his side, but he's trying to mark a player as well. I don't know what goes on between him and Varane. I need to see that goal again. But again, I mean, look, Delo's performance is destroyed in some sense. And I've said this for the 3rd game in a row now. Rashford destroys Delo's game because he doesn't help him out defensively. And then he makes overlap runs and he ignores him. So there's 2 things that will make Delo have a better game. If he gets the defensive support of the wide player, he's going to have a better game defensively. And if he gets the pass when he overlaps, he's going to have a better game going forward. So he's being hindered by Rashford. So I would agree, 5.5, 6 for Delo. Maguire, I'm going to give him a 5. Ultimately, I could give him a 1, I could give him a 4, I could give him a 3. The reality is he's the captain of Manchester United and he can't even put in an average performance. Like, give him what you want. Just don't lie and say it was good or average. It was crap. Like, he's a liability. And at times, he wasn't a liability. But with Maguire, I think he has a good game if the ball doesn't go anywhere near him. And in the first half, it wasn't bad because they didn't really get at him. But in the second half, there was 3 times where his lack of pace, positional sense, got us into trouble. So, he's just not good enough. I don't know why we're picking him, but I expect him to start against Brighton because there was no way in hell he should have started today, and he did. So he'll start against Brighton. He's crap. Varane probably I don't think Varane had a very good game today. Steady, but it wasn't as domineering as we have seen. Maybe he's starting to get dragged down. We've seen this happen with good players before. They come to the club, they look really good, and then over time they start to get dragged down. But I thought it was a bit of an average performance from Varane. The goal did come down that side. I need to see it again because Varane and Delo seem to get in a position where it's definitely their side and it's definitely going to be their fault, but they are picking up 2 players. Varane has to come out to leave a player, so I'm wondering how that ball gets to that position that he's got to come out. But it wasn't great defending by Varane and Delo. Luke Shaw 5 for me again. He's playing him on side, and the thing about Luke Shaw is I thought he was very good in the first half against Burnley. He wasn't bad in the first half against Southampton, but second half he fell off a cliff. Luke Shaw is one of those players that actually symbolises United. He is one of those players, and Bruno's another one. They can be really good in the first half, and then they fall apart in the second half. And is that not United? We've got too many players who don't play well for 90 minutes, and Luke Shaw was definitely one of those. McTominay, 5. At the end of the day, we've fallen into this trap where we haven't bought a midfielder. Fred and Matic don't get picked, so we know McTominay's got to play. We can't really moan about somebody else playing because Donny's not here anymore and Fred wasn't fit and Matic wasn't fit. So he's got to play. And we're almost just like, please just don't do anything wrong. We know he's not good enough, but please don't do anything wrong. And, he didn't even manage that. There was a few good passes, but you'd expect them under no pressure. He switched the play a few times under no pressure. But tackling-wise, picking up the runners... He's just not good enough in that position, is he? He's just not good enough as a holding midfielder, and it's very telling that he keeps getting subbed. Pogba I thought was decent. I'd give him a 7. But second half he did fade. But I thought in the first half really good. I think the mitigating factor with Pogba is that he's coming back from 4 months out, but his head's going to start dropping. Like, it will. Like, I just think, again, he's another player who faded in the second half, but who didn't? But first half, he was very good. Bruno, again, I'd probably give him a 6, but if you want to give him a 5.5, that's fine. I thought in the first half, he had a really good game, and in the second half, he fell apart. So if you want to give him that, that's absolutely fine. I've just given Maguire and Shaw a 5, so I'd have to give Bruno a little bit more, so I'd give him a 6. But I suppose in relation to what you've given Maguire and Shaw, if they're down below a 4, you could probably give Bruno a 5, I suppose, yeah. Rashford, for me, is another 5. I just don't get it. I really don't. I mean, the assist was nice. It was straightforward, but it was nice. I think he's in the... I said this before the game, and this is the most constructive thing I can say about Rashford, and I think he'd find it really insulting, but it's my perception. If he was as quick as Lingard, he wouldn't get started. I think he's in the team for pace. That's all he's there for. I think Rangnick puts him in the team because he knows if they hit the right ball into the right space, no one's going to catch him and he might get a shot or a cross, which is what he did for the goal. He's basically become Dan James. There's nothing to his game apart from pace that I think, ooh. And we nearly conceded as well. He got the ball on the left, and I think this is why Rangnick puts him on the right. He got the ball on the left. He cuts inside. He's trying to shoot. It's not on, so he cuts a little bit more inside. It's not on, so he cuts a little bit more inside. Loses the ball. Southampton counter-attack. Their player holds the ball, waits for a player to run parallel to Maguire, gives him the ball. He runs diagonally at Maguire, who's too slow to close him down. Maguire can either take him down and it's a penalty or let him through. Lets him through and he missed the chance. And that's Maguire being rubbish, and it's also Rashford doing his same old thing of hogging the ball and trying to shoot from a ridiculous angle. So, look, you've got to share it out. Rashford at the moment is playing badly, and I think he's only being picked, and I think he will get picked against Brighton because of pace. Simple as that. Sancho was a 7 for me. I mean, he disappeared in the second half, but, good goal. I thought in the first half he looked a threat. Second half he faded. He's falling into that category, but I thought first half he was good. Second game in a row he's scored a goal. I don't think Sancho can really have any issue with that game apart from the fact that he didn't get enough of the ball in the second half, and we didn't win the game. Ronaldo's another 5. I mean, look, I don't. If you're comparing Ronaldo to Maguire and Rashford, you're an idiot. He's on a different level, but he should have scored. He rounded the keeper, and I think he was lazy to the fact that there was a recovering defender. Because I'm telling you now, if he had that chance again, he'd power it into the bottom corner, which he didn't. So that was a bit of a lazy finish, which we might have changed the game. And then he's in the graveyard shift, and when you're in the graveyard shift, you're going to get 5 out of 10. So he should have scored in the first half. I think he puts the effort in, but I think, honestly, what's going on? Where was the creativity in the second half? Where was the creativity in the last 15 minutes of the first half? It's the graveyard shift, and Cavani would have done the same. I think maybe Cavani would have finished the goal, but he wouldn't have had much more to do. And Alanga just came on and put in an honest performance, and so did Jesse Lingard. And then Rangnick, for me, this is the first time where I'm going to give him a low score. I'm going to give Rangnick a 5 because I don't agree with that. I said this, I did, I said it, and I've got to stay true. I think that after the game against Burnley, I said if he picks Harry Maguire at the weekend, I'm going to have to put it on the manager, and I'm going to have to put it on the manager. I don't understand his team selections. I don't understand how you can underperform in a United shirt consistently and get picked. Like, why could Alanga not start over Rashford? Like, we've seen Rashford again do what he did against Burnley, and he'll probably do it against Brighton. Like, it's insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again. If Alanga played today and he played worse than Rashford, at least when you play Rashford against Brighton, you know Alanga's had a chance. Just give him a chance. He might do something better. And it's the same with Lindelof. Lindelof lost. I'm so disappointed in the club. Victor Lindelof was playing really well with Varane. His house gets burgled when he's playing for United. They give him some days off to be with his family. He comes back and he's lost his place to Maguire, who is playing crap. How do you treat players like that? He was playing well. He had time off because of a family incident. He comes back, Maguire's shit, and he's still benched. Like, where's the loyalty to the player there? Where's the loyalty to performance? All we want as fans is loyalty to the performance. Lindelof was playing well. He loses his place because of a personal issue that everyone understands. He comes back, Maguire's playing crap, but no, we're going to drop you, Lindelof. We're going to stick with Maguire. That's just an example, but you could say it about Tellez, you could say it about Alanga, you could say it about, Van der Beek with McTominay and Fred over the last year. United consistently pick players who don't deserve to be picked, and they consistently ignore players who deserve a chance. And for me, that's why I'm knocking Rangnick down, because I don't understand why that keeps happening, and it's a massive reason as to why we keep failing at Manchester United, because we've turned into a brand club, and we pick players based on that. Jadon Sancho, man of the match, with 71%, and Paul Pogba second with 19%, so not much votes for others. De Gea was in third. I'm just trying to get a few quotes for you here from the manager that have just come in, so let me just get them for you. Shaw's come out and said stuff. So Luke Shaw has said, history is repeating itself again. We started well the first 20 minutes, got the goal, and it just happened again. We know it's not good enough and it needs to change quickly. Boring. You were crap in the second half, Luke, so boring. It's just words. We need to change it quickly. I'm bored of it. It's been going on for years. I'm bored of it. I'm not waiting for it to change quickly. You are an embarrassment to the team. Those players are an embarrassment to the name of Manchester United. If we take our chances early in the game, it's a different story. We can't overthink it. We want to get in the Champions League and it's not good enough, and there's no way we will get in the Champions League if we keep dropping points. Paul Scholes has said, from what I saw, the players aren't working hard enough. There's a lot of talent in that team. There's a lot of very good players and you can name every one of them, but you've got to work hard as well. I feel sorry for the manager. He's clearly trying his best to set the team up to play against this type of team, and they're either not listening and can't do it, or they don't want to do it. Spot on. Absolutely spot on. At least Paul Scholes has come out and said that what everybody knows. These players are not good enough for the shirt. And he's just said that in a kind way. He said that in a kind way. Either the players can't do it, don't want to do it, or, there's some other reason. The reality is they can't do it because they're not good enough. That's the truth. They're not good enough for this shirt. Anyway, I'm going to push you over to the fan forum. They're going off on there. You can carry on with your conversation over there. I'm going to be back at 8 o'clock. We've got the fan vlogs as well. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll speak to you all in a bit.